the concept of epigenetics is talked about a lot. It's a very it's a big sort of buzzword in popular science, pop culture science, and stuff like that. And so I one of the questions I was going to ask, and maybe just ask you now, what are some of the misconceptions that you hear kind of popularly shared about genetics, genomics, and particularly epigenetics, whether it be related to plants or humans, that you'd kind of like to set straight?
So the scientific field is really excited about methylation for the complete opposite reasons that pop culture likes to magnify its effect. The pop culture likes to almost guilt people into their actions today are going to hurt some child 3 generations from now, and that is like
Right.
such remote garbage. It's hard to hang out on, but the but we're excited about it because it teaches us about the machinery of expression and the cell. When we see the cell methylating certain things, it gives us another vantage point on what's going on. It's one thing just to measure the RNA that's coming off of off the genome. It's entirely another thing to have and to know which parts of the genome it's methylating as a result of this, because that implies there's a feedback mechanism, that there is something else in the cell that is responding to a signal to make something transcribe, and maybe even a feedback mechanism to turn it off. And so we like having those circuits all spelled out. So we're really excited about epigenetics for that reason. But a lot of that often gets pushed into pop culture as being, your actions from 3 generations ago are now impacting the direction of the human population. And there's very, very, very thin evidence for those things. I don't doubt that some of those studies are in fact real, but the Ireland famine is one that comes to mind. But it's such a weak p-value and such a weak effect that you'd be better off worrying about whether you're staring at your phone too long walking into a street. I mean, it's
really.
There's stronger selective pressures out there that are likely to affect your genetics than some of those epigenetic effects. So it's unfortunate, but it happens. The science often gets interpreted politically, and I think epigenetics is one that has a sort of guilt associated with it that's being leveraged politically.
Well, yeah, and for people that are not scientists or have a very vague understanding of the research that's gone into this, it can really freak people out unnecessarily. It can cause a lot of stress, like you mentioned, that really isn't warranted. And another example that comes to mind is concern over different types of waves that are passing through your body, and the effects of gravitational waves and this sort of stuff that some people, when they start hearing about, like quantum gravity and quantum mechanics is a big one, where people start to hear these concepts and then they get really strung out worrying about these effects of things that, the effects may be real, but they're so small in comparison to other things that have much bigger pressures on you, like you're saying, that it's like it's not really worth exerting the mental energy to worry about that when you have much more real issues to deal with, that you probably don't have to worry about gravitational wave distortions being caused by comets and things moving through the galaxy.
Strung out is a great way to describe string theory.
Yeah. Right, yeah.